Maybe I just got like a haircut. And that changed everything.
Welcome to Comedy Happy Hour.
It's Happy Hour.
The podcast that tries to explain comedy through the comedian's eyes. I'm Travis.
Oh, is that where we're going with?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is the first one. No one's going to listen to this.
I'm Dylan.
We are in Don's Depot in Austin, Texas. We're lucky enough to hang out here and meet comedians who have been working at least for longer than a day. And we're lucky to actually meet someone who's been doing this for like most of her life. She's a creator of content. She's a writer. She's a director. She's an actress. She's also the host of her own show, The Chip Show. It's Christina Parrish.
Oh my God. Yay.
Yay.
Clap. Clap.
Clap, you motherfuckers.
Fucks. You cucks. Come on, you cuckheads. Come on, clap it up.
Cuckheads. Wait, look, those are fans of cucks, right?
Right, I guess so, yeah.
Okay. We haven't explored that space yet.
No, we haven't. I call my fans the chip heads, and now it's
Yeah.
the cuckheads, so
Chip heads.
everything ends in head.
I can't wait to talk about The Chip Show. I love The Chip Show so much.
Oh, I'm so happy.
But let me try to start this off with an easy question.
Yes.
What is art?
No.
What would be your elevator pitch? Like if you were to...
I was to pitch myself?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Don't book me. I'm just kidding. I guess it'd be like, hi, I'm Christina Parrish. I'm multifaceted in creative endeavors, and I am escalating on a high escalator. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Using business words.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know.
Synergy.
You can synergize that.
Yeah.
We can
Thank you.
wrap that up and then unpack it later, I
Yeah,
guess.
it's vertical
Ooh.
integration
I
of
love that.
collaborative resources.
Ooh. I love big words.
We have a pocket full of them. We're single loquacious here.
Single loquacious. Wow.
Bloody speak or something.
Oh. Yikes-a-roni. Okay.
Yikes, Aroni. Not that kind of bloody. It's a British thing. It's so cool to actually be able to hang out with you because like I don't get a chance to see you in the places that you're usually. And it also seems like you're not there anyway. So
Yeah, I'm. You're just not there when I'm there.
yeah.
I'm a busy lady, so you know I'm all over the place. Got arms and pots and legs and other things. You know what I mean?
You sure
Yeah.
do. I mean,
Yeah.
you're one of the few people that we've had on the show that has an IMDb page.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
LOL. You guys
Really?
found
What?
that?
Yep.
Wow. Fancy.
Wow, I thought I got taken down. Haven't paid my dues. So
I don't know. I actually don't know.
That's
if
right,
it's
right. You can make your own page if you pay the IMDb Pro, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
So we should get our own, yeah.
look at this super happy person.
Oh,
I'm so happy. Oh my God, I can't wait to grow my hair out again.
So yes, I was listening to and watching a bunch of your stuff. So I have questions based on that.
Yes.
But I'm going to ask you a question that's related to comedy in general. When someone says a man walks into a bar, what does that bar look like?
It has old pictures of old couples having a really great time, but the bar is empty.
Okay. Are these framed pictures?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course they're framed. They're framed with like those old metallic, like someone just spray painted it with gold just to look old.
Trump Tower, yeah.
Like it was bought brand new from Michael's Duress
Yeah.
like that. and
Right.
put up.
Yeah, not
okay.
vintage at all, but trying so desperately.
Is the bartender there at least?
Oh yeah, of course he's there. He's always there.
Is he on his phone or is he cleaning something?
He's cleaning something,
He's cleaning
and
his
he's waiting for the door to open. And when the door opens, he doesn't do anything. He just keeps doing what he's doing.
Waits for someone else to ask for advice or a drink. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What do you think is the fanciest booze they have at that place?
Probably just Templeton Rye.
Okay.
That's the only thing they
Specific, I like that.
yeah. It sounds like you've been to this bar.
serve. Oh, many times. the bartender sucks.
He's so impersonal, but he'd probably help you move.
Yeah.
So I was researching you. I was trying to figure out...
Researching me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he sent me a video.
Yeah, watched your reel, watched a lot of your video content.
I loved your reel, actually. I loved your reel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
If I remembered his name, I would shout him out, but I can't. So that guy who knows
job.
me, who did my reel, great job.
Fuck you. I mean, thank you. So I know that you grew up in, I guess, in the Mesquite, Dallas area. right?
Yes, yes.
At 15, you followed your dad to Austin. Well, 16, 15, you were watching improv with your dad. You came to Austin to watch comedy, and
I did. Creepy how you know that. Yes, I did. Were you there?
I'm your dad. Rip.
Rip.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Episode 1, we've already freaked out the guests.
Down. Checklist. Check.
The only thing on my bucket list. All right.
Yes, so at 15, I moved from Dallas Mesquite area to Austin, Texas, where my dad lived, and started doing some improv. I used to watch a lot of improv at the Hideout. Used to watch their maestro all the time since I was like 10. It's been going for so long.
Oh, since you were 10. Cool.
Yeah, 10. No, maybe not 10. Maybe like 13. Actually,
Somewhere between 10 and 15. Okay.
Yeah. It was, but I know I started watching it because that's like an activity that my dad and I would do. And then I moved here and started. My biggest goal was to get in an improv troupe. Little did I know that doesn't matter. So,
Secrets.
dun dun dun. So yeah.
So you came in here. I also know. Oh, so you're not too creeped out by it. And you were on a different podcast and you were talking about your history, your past.
Oh yes, okay,
Yeah.
I figured that might be a resource. Hashtag resource. This is when they do the
resource,
little audio thing. I
Not on this show. It's too austere.
it's live.
Resource.
Yeah. We talked a lot about my move, and I used to like bike from up in Round Rock, like go to Tech Ridge and then bike all the way down here to go to my improv classes.
Down to downtown Austin?
Yeah.
That's a heck of a bike ride.
Yeah, and I had so much work ethic back then, like really was really good at showing up, but
That was then.
That was then. But this is now, and I was 30 minutes late, everybody, the audience.
That's not entirely fair to you, but okay, we'll take it. Notoriously late, Christina Parrish.
Boom. That's
Boom.
my name.
That's your full name.
Yeah.
I should have introduced you as such. I'm sorry. I was curious about this. So, watching stand up, coming here, doing improv, starting stand up, and then stopping for a year, being nervous. Now, there was some that was already talked about in that podcast. I don't need to really rehash, but is there anything from that year or that time period, like a joke that you missed, that you think about, you kind of like wish you could rehash, that you could retool?
Right. Well, my first joke that I ever wrote, I still use to this day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Which one is
yeah.
that?
It's my shocker joke, which is I saw there's a small child outside. And,
Now say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, tell it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a small child outside. I don't know if you saw him. He's a small child with a giant jacket, and he came up to me, and he was like, "Do you want any shockers?" And I said, "No, sweetie, your fingers are too small, but I'm sure if you do it over and over again, I'm bound to feel something." Fucking kids is funny. That was like one of my first jokes, and I still sweep that puppy in there sometimes. But during that year, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I missed any jokes or anything like that. I was too I just tried to ignore the fact that I did stand up and was quitting.
Okay.
And so I was trying to not focus on the fact that I was quitting, not doing a thing I wasn't good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, so that's that. Oh, here I am. Here I am. Hello, Westland Hand Wash. It's a venue across the street, audience members. Yeah.
It's good to have context.
Yeah, it's good to have context. Especially in jokes.
That's interesting. Usually, when I ask that question, other people they say like, "I really wanted this thing, but it never made it work," or "I kind of brought it back in a certain way, but not the exact same joke."
It's a good joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I brought that puppy back. I used to tell this really weird joke. Something about living in Dallas, and when it rains, it's just JFK crying again. That was one of the first jokes I used. I never used that joke, but yeah.
That's good.
I like it.
Oh.
Just pull out one of your old notebooks and just do all of it.
That. Yeah, because all my shit now sucks. I'm just kidding. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress.
Or a union tour, you know?
It's best of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
best
the
of,
best
yeah.
Greatest
of.
hits, yeah.
Oh, I like greatest hits.
So when you mentioned in the show too, you mentioned that you didn't see a lot of live shows before you started coming to Austin to see improv and et cetera.
Yeah.
You watched a Blue Collar Comedy Tour with your mom. You watched Cat Williams, Margaret Cho.
Yeah,
but was there
she loved Margaret
anything
Cho.
that did you like any of the things that she was watching?
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of the Blue Collar Comedy tour.
Sure, it reflects on your material.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it really bleeds through to today. I really liked watching them. I was really into Dave Chappelle and watching him do stand up. My mom would occasionally put him on, and Margaret Chow. I liked the vulgarity that she would go into. I really liked, what was his name? Ron
Howard.
Ron Howard.
Tater salad.
Yeah, Tater salad.
Ron White.
Ron White.
Ron
Yeah,
White.
Ron
White.
Not Ron Howard. That's the narrator of the show. Yeah.
I loved Ron White a lot.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's the best out of all of them, I
Oh,
think.
Yeah.
I think his stand-up is definitely the best. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always about watching him because he just reminded me of like my old grandpa or something that just like got up there.
Drunk,
yeah.
smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Bitch about his wife. Yeah. The classics.
Bitching about his wife, my grandmother.
Yeah. Oddly specific, they're the same wife. Yeah.
Very odd.
Do you feel like, I made a joke about it bleeding into your material, but like, who are your influences?
I really like Morgan Murphy, Maria Bamford, Tig Notaro, Beth Stelling. Beth Stelling is like a pretty big influence just because I just love watching her so much. And I'm trying to think of the other, but those are always my go-to whenever someone asks me like, what are my influences? Those are like some of the funnier women in comedy, I think. Yeah. Funnier women in comedy.
Well, there's four, so yeah.
I'm actually really glad I'm glad you said Maria Bamford. I watched your reel, one of the bits you did. First thing I thought of was, that's Maria Bamford. Like, that's not stealing her material, obviously.
Yeah. No,
channeling the same kind of quirkiness and energy, and I recognized it immediately. So
yeah,
you did it.
I did it. Well, I remember watching Maria Bamford on. I used to go to Comedy Central's page and look at all their stand-up clip videos where they would just have these lines of like clips, all these videos, and they had like A-list, D-list, all that stuff. And I found Maria Bamford super randomly, and I just got so sucked in. I would just watch her all the time. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah.
What was her show that came out on Netflix?
Lady Dynamite.
I guess season 2.
Fucking is there season 2? Yeah. Oh, that's great.
It's so funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and
really,
it's so
really
weird. Yeah.
Well, and I like just like there's. It's weird that this is the only reference I could think of otherwise, but there's that Ally McBeal kind of thing where it's like all of a sudden it's fourth wall breaking and then the rest of it's not. And and I love when people play with that kind of
the weird like structure of making film or TV.
Like the scenes themselves are almost metaphors instead of
Oh yeah.
I like that a lot. So when you bring up Maria Bamford as a major influence too, but I noticed in the article that I think it was Comedy Wham wrote. They called you Galifianakian.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What's your take on that? Like,
I mean, I guess that's a very high compliment. But I used to watch Zach Galifianakis live at the Purple Onion. That's one of my favorite sets
it's
ever.
wonderful.
So funny, so funny. It just makes me feel really nice. I think that's nice.
That's pretty nice.
That's really fucking nice.
All right.
That's like chips and queso nice.
Right. Hell yeah. I didn't know that. But thanks for telling me.
Oh, sure. Well, I was curious, like, is it somewhat reductionist? You said it was a compliment, which is cool.
Yeah.
If it's reductionist or diminutive to say, like, this is what your influences are you, or... Because I noticed watching through your stuff and watching it over the years, something happened probably like in 2016 that the energy, the tone of your material changed to be a little bit more not aggressive, but it's the same stuff, but it almost feels like it's more you than the people you've watched before.
Yeah.
And I was curious if there was a switch or something that you noticed, like a joke or a bit or a class you took. Maybe you went to. I don't know. Like.
Well.
And if you haven't noticed, then that's remarkable in itself. But.
I didn't. I haven't noticed. It's an interesting thing. My mom died. 2 years ago almost. So my sense of humor sort of changed right after that. I think.
Okay.
So a lot of the things that I did after that were a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they influenced something in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But. I don't know if that was like I don't know. Sometimes your brain just throws out weird things that are like weird context. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you write something and then you like look back on it later, like, oh, I can tell where you were coming from at that time because you were in this sort of place or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably so. I don't know. Phew. Maybe I just got like a haircut, and that changed everything.
It could be the passing of a parent.
That's what they say in all the movies. Just you take your glasses off and you let the ponytail down, and you're a whole new person, right?
And you are. She's the man.
Right. 10 things I like about that. About all that. Oh, that's not right there. So what is it about odd or weird comedy, like, or alt comedy that speaks to you specifically? Like, is it just because you enjoyed that more, that it was something that it was easier for you to do, or is it more because it's kind of experimental?
Well,
challenging?
I guess I don't even think of it as odd comedy because it's just like something that
These are your words, madam.
Well, yeah. These are your words.
I'll go to the clip now.
Did you have a resource for this?
Well, it's in the in the podcast, but
MLA cited.
It's on our IMDb actually.
Right.
Will you repeat the question? No, it's just something that I like to mess with. I like watching, like, I don't know. I'm not, what is it, that show, 30 Seconds to Mars? No, that's a band.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's a Joker's band,
Fucking
right?
Leto, man.
No, I think it's just more interesting, by far, the experimental, weird, different comedy. I don't know, but I still like my classic shows like The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine or
Hell yeah.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
You know, I love when it becomes like darker or like weirder in bits, comedy bits or whatever.
Do you do that for you, or do you do that for other people?
I do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because, I mean, I don't know any other way besides my way. So whenever I make stuff or whenever I collaborate, you can always tell when I watch series that I've collaborated on, I'm like, oh, I can tell that was my writing, which is always fun. Yeah, I don't know.
Or like for Misunderstood, for example, and
Yeah.
brought up off air. It's you, it's Avery Moore, and I didn't recognize the third one, the person who plays Tammy.
Oh, Katie Stone, yeah.
Katie Stone. Oh, Katie Stone. Yeah, I don't think I've actually met Katie Stone. Or that was also many years ago. So
Yeah.
maybe she's a frog. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wizard spell has taken her over. I don't know.
Boom.
Yeah.
When you worked on that, did you each have your own dialogue, or like, because it felt really well put together with you being this character, the character that you were on 100%, whatever, 100 times.
Right.
Avery Moore playing the worried roommate, and then the mean roommate. Or mean roommate. They're both really just worried roommates, and you were the awful roommate.
Right.
What was the collaboration there? Like, you each picked your own dialogue, or is it did someone write that?
Oh no, I wrote
You
that.
wrote the whole thing?
Yeah, I wrote the whole thing. Whenever I write stuff, I usually have people in mind for who I'm going to ask.
Okay.
And with that always helps because, like with my movie, for example, Call Me Brother, I totally wrote all the parts in that film for people, and it's I've told someone, like, it's a way easier for me to write for like people that I know to play these parts because I know that there's something inside them that can vibe well.
Vibe, yeah, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Perfect timing, I think.
No, yeah, and so with Misunderstood, I just wrote all those parts for those certain people and then asked them, and thank God that they were able to be there for it.
Yeah, sure.
But Misunderstood, and I've been thinking about it. Misunderstood, Kill 'Em With Kindness, I Feel You, Love Hurts. These are all things that are
great.
Yeah, these are all things. These are all like weird, like you were saying, like. There's like metaphors and stuff. I watch those and I'm like, oh, I was weirdly writing like weird metaphors for things in these sketches for some weird reason that I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you're like, okay, you're able to examine far enough to know that there was something there, but like, later on. We'll figure it out,
exactly. Yeah, not in the process. In the process, I was just like, this is this. But then whenever I look back and I watch it, I'm like, no, I was thinking like ways. I was like thinking in metaphors, which is so bizarre. But yeah, you know, when you think in metaphors, studio audience.
If you, I mean, just start yelling at your car or your phone if you agree with her.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take a break?
Let's take a quick break.
Sure,
Break. We'll come back.
I got blazed out of my mind. And I texted a close friend. I texted, am I a burden? Pretty heavy text at 10 p.m. Pretty heavy text that got no response.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Yeah.
Comedy Happy Hour with Dylan and Travis.
Yeah.
Still hanging out with Christina Parrish. Of course, I still make this joke. Even on this show, if you're skipping around somehow, I think you're probably psychotic. You should have been listening all the way through. But I like to pretend we're on the radio, just in case you're just tuning in. So we got 10 minutes left. I think it's good to give a good big focus on the Chip Show, because
it's kind of her jam.
It's your jam. Because one of the questions I was going to ask specifically about the things that we've seen about like Teen Mama, or first time doing stand-up, the you walking through or crawling through a vagina. Is that,
which, if you haven't seen, you should go to
should
YouTube
absolutely
and watch that right now.
And I'll link that to...
We'll wait.
Go now. It's only a couple minutes.
Actually, honestly, I thought that was one of my favorite bits of yours. That and your slideshow guy, the beard.
Oh, Terrence McKenna.
I love both those bits because there's. You mentioned earlier, like, the way you look at this is it's art. It just kind of, this is how I do stuff. Like, I don't have a process. This is what I think is funny. I watched both those and was like, yeah, this is just an artist doing wonderful, wonderful stuff. I loved it.
Well, and what I like about it is there's a certain kind of ambition to it. You know, there's a lot of follow through, because like the idea of doing, because that was on Sandbox, right?
Terrence McKenna was at the Comedy Seance.
Oh no, for first time doing stand up.
Yeah, that was at Sandbox.
Because that fits in the Sandbox thing. But I can think of, there's probably a lot of people who would come up with that idea specifically, and at the last second pussy out. And you don't seem like the kind of person to pussy out for these kinds of things.
Oh no, I got that vagina built, my friend.
Yeah.
I paid $60 for that puppy.
It looked pretty correct.
Anatomically correct. I don't know. The anus was a little bit far away. I think it was a little too, little too high. I don't know.
Someone's examining too much when he's downtown. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of care. That's foreplay, right? But so it's the ambition, and I feel like the Chip Show is kind of like a natural progression to that. Like,
oh yeah,
and that's it feels very sincere, you know, and something that I love about it so much. But why did you decide to do it in the first place?
Well, so
explain yourself.
Explain. Okay,
how about this?
Dad.
What is the Chip Show? How about that?
Yeah, let's start up there.
Yeah, the Chip Show is just this experimental comedy show where things, you know, it's very Eric Andre-esque and trying to go with In Between Two Ferns, that show.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
And I came up with this idea for a potato chip show whenever I was really, really high, and I was like, you know what, this is so funny. What if I
like
just
Hemingway?
Yeah, I'm sort of. Yeah, that's
the
what
old man and the
says.
chip. Yeah.
You're kind of like Hemingway. But I came up with this really stoned, and I was like, you know, this is so funny. And then I invested so much, and whenever I'm like hooked on an idea, it's really hard to stop me from doing it. So I spent like $2,000 buying chips and getting this shit done.
Wow, cool.
And
well, the costume.
It was right. The costume, eBay, baby. I had to wait for that puppy. But what was your question again? I'm just kidding.
I was scared for your life when you jumped in Barton with that, because it's like, I'm sure it's not very.
It's not buoyant.
Honestly, it was like foam, so it floated. It definitely held its own.
Okay, cool. Good. Well, you survived. So
yeah, I survived. I'm here, unless I'm a ghost and you guys are just seeing through me, which is totally fine.
Who said that?
Who said that? I just, like, whenever I get hooked on an idea, I just want to really do it. And the Chip Show is that for me, where I was like, it'd be so dumb if I just hosted a show that revolved around potato chips. That would just be so dumb. But then I did it, and we shot 12 episodes, and, and it was a lot of fun. And we got to do a lot of weird stuff, like go to a gun range and shoot. And it was really fun.
As you bring in comedians in, local comedians.
Yeah, I bring in local comedians, and I bring in the Joe Barlow. He hosts for CBS or something like that.
Okay.
And what my goal is to venture out and like get other people on it. So I'm trying to get Portugal the Man and Alex Jones on it. Yeah.
Can you please interview Alex Jones in the chip costume?
Right. Well, the thing that I was so pissed about is that he actually held a conference at the Travis County, and I was supposed to go. I was wanting to go, but I missed it entirely. Oh. He was doing like a live performance talking about his stupid daughter and stuff like that. His stupid daughter, his child.
That was probably his words.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It's a quote.
It came up in the divorce settlement. Yeah. Stupid daughter.
Stupid daughter.
Take my essence away from me.
I really want Alex Jones to be on the show. That's my goal for season 2 is to get him somehow to find whatever weird like pop up speech he's going to give, because I follow him on Twitter and I know he's not adverse to like go and just perform randomly.
Yeah,
sure. Did I use adverse in the right tone? I'm learning words as I go.
Well, and he did say in court that he was a performance artist and not actually a pundit.
Yep. That's the kind of stuff I can relate to him with.
Yeah.
For some reason, it made me think of reach out to this if you feel like it. Brian Wilson, the Texas Law Hawk.
Oh.
I forgot about that guy.
He just put out a 4th of July one. That's the reason why I was saying
You mean the Beetle? I mean the...
No, the Texas Law Hawk is a guy who, he just makes these crazy viral... He's an actual lawyer.
Yeah.
But he makes these crazy, get up on the commercial and just yell a lot.
He's not in Austin, right? He's like Dallas or something.
I think he's in Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
But he has Screeching Eagles and he's a law hawk.
Yeah. This 4th of July one is literally him wrapping himself up in fireworks and talking about all the things that he can do while he's lighting himself on fire and running around screaming. It's wonderful.
I should watch that.
He's also kind of handsome, so it works out.
Ooh.
So there you go.
Yeah.
If you're single.
No. Not at all.
Not at all.
Everyone back off. 15 feet away from me.
I heard that the Balance Brothers are on the show this season too, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah, Rob Gagnon and John Buseman, they're on. That was crazy. I let them destroy the entire set. It was awesome.
So you do it in seasons? Is there time in between seasons? Or you just kind of
now
reformatting, setting?
Yeah, right now I'm in between seasons. So I shot all of season 1 and I'm done. And right now it's about building season 2 and trying to get better at being about what my show is and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's tricky. It's tricky hosting your own show and trying to figure out the ways to make it viewable and watchable and want people to actually give a shit. And even if they don't, at least get those view numbers up. But yeah, so I'm going into season 2 in the fall, and so it's right now. It's just about trying to figure out what more stuff people want, and also what more chips can I add to the show.
For sure,
and well, trying to gain chip fans.
I like the chip on the street stuff. Actually. Yeah, I really do.
Oh, it's wonderful
because it takes puffs, if you will.
I love that. I haven't heard that one before. Jesus Christ, good job. Well, you get a point. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing that's crazy is that you don't see a lot of women doing on the man on the street kind of stuff, and you don't really know. I don't know. I can't name any woman that I know, or not woman that I know, but that I've heard of that does and goes around on the street and does interviews and has to deal with that sort of tension.
Yeah. The only thing Survivor is your I guess your A game players. Daily Show and Sam B they have their correspondence, but that's people getting paid lots of money.
Well, that's very
more than us. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, they're going to places we don't want to go either. So.
New York.
Yeah. I'm to New York. Never again.
New York.
They have the worst Sabaros.
Don't tell Pizzeria Sabaro that.
Sure. All right. So one last question for you. Actually, 2 questions. You've been a writer. You've been an actress. Excuse me. Comedian, and improv and stand-up. Now that you're doing other people's projects, Well, you're not really doing other people's projects, huh? Like I see you working on other things. Like, do you want to have your hands on every part of the pie, or is there some part of you where you're like you just want to work with other people and just perform?
My favorite part is being able to make something.
Yeah.
So whatever like goes around that, I really like. I like having, it's really hard to not have your hands want to have your hands in every piece, but of the pie. But also, being open to creative collaboration is so useful and so handy when it comes to trying to make something that people will like. So yeah, I have my hands in like a lot of pots right now, but they're both boiling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh my God, there's 3 people here now.
Oh my God. No, it's hard not to like. I'm kind of controlling in the creative aspect of like I know what I want to get, and I know what I want, but letting people be open to those ideas and working with that. I got the fucking light. Jesus Christ. Got the light on this goddamn podcast. Whatever. It's free beer.
All right, last question. What do you want to ask the next comedian who's on our show?
What's your favorite chip?
Okay.
Yeah, that
topical.
Topical.
Yeah.
Blah.
Thematic.
So for happy hour today, we've had a couple drinks on the menu.
Yeah, we started off with a Cadillac margarita.
Yeah.
Not spelled like the vehicle, but it's
with a K, right?
It's a top shelf. It's with a C. It's for Christina. And then we're gonna. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And so we have a shot.
And we have a shot. It's
Oh my God.
It's a Citron My Face.
Yeah, this is
a Don's
a
original
staple.
shot.
Yeah. This is a Don's original.
Yeah.
Right?
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's sweet as fuck.
Yeah. I think
It's
the
sweet.
diabetes.
I'll take your extra feet. So
you didn't chug it, man. Come
Yeah,
on, you gotta throw down.
I'm not a hummingbird. This is just too much sugar for me. I'm sorry.
he's a super taster.
Super taster.
Super taster.
No, he's been
you gotta
studying
come
my
up with a
palate
better
for
name.
years. It's a long story.
I have been actually.
You can check out our other podcast for that.
Sure. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out and doing the first episode. Actually, because it's the first episode of the show, and I felt like I should like give you something special.
Oh my
Uh-oh,
God.
yeah.
Oh my God. Surprise
Here's
time.
a ukulele.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit. This is nice. I'll learn how to play and then send you guys a song.
I think there are instructions on
Perfect.
it, right?
Yeah, it should come with some
Can
stuff.
I open it up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you want to take a look at it. But while you're doing that, tell us where we can find you online.
You can find me at Lil Bird Killer on Instagram. IB Super, ChristinaParrish.com. That's where I have all my videos, and I hope you enjoy them.
Cool. Dylan, anything you want to add before we leave? Any other questions for our guests? You have to learn how to play it first.
Oh my God! Honestly, this is this is the weirdest. I've never had a gift like this.
Well, it's multi-purpose, you know.
What? This is an actual ukulele. Ukulele.
Well, I mean that's the Hawaiian pronunciation.
Citron is. I can't believe this. This is crazy.
Yeah, thanks for being the first one on our show.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it ship in tune?
There's an app for it.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's the card on the thing has a tuning app information. So
Oh, I love all these apps that are just on stuff.
It's your dog has fleas. Is that right?
Yeah.
Your dog has fleas?
your dog has no.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Comedy Happy Hour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to find us online, you can find us on any of the places where you can do /. We're at Comedy Happy Hour on Twitter, right?
Yes, we are.
At Comedy Happy Hour on Twitter. We're Facebook.com/Comedy Happy Hour. We're ComedyHappyHour.com. We'll be on the iTunes Store and the Everything Store. iTunes Store, Google Play Store, Stitcher, etc. Please go check it out and tell us what you think about this episode, what you think about our guests. And you can also questions at ComedyHappyHour.com or 802-359-7468. That is not an acronym. Those are just numbers. Leave a phone number or a text and we'll get to you. But I'm Travis. And that's Dylan.
I was drinking. I'm sorry.
You're always
It's
drinking.
happy hour. We're on a patio.
And we'll see you next time.
Content pending.